Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with episode number 28, closing in on that 30. I'm not sure what that means, but 28, man. It's with today 28 Italian films covered, and we seem to be in the midst of a bit of an aquatic horror place in terms of Italian cinema between 79 and 94. Today's no different. Compliments of the legendary Lamberto Bava. Demons 2, Blade in the Dark. We can go on and on and on. The legendary son of the legendary Mario Bava, giving us one of the most legendary aquatic horror pieces that man has ever laid eyes upon. Nothing quite comes close to Devilfish, or The Devouring Waves, or Monster Shark, or what will be down in my notes, the quite incredible French title. Quite a legendary piece, quite an incredible piece of film. God, I don't know if there's, just when you thought it was safe post-Jaws 3D to even think about stepping back into the water, knowing the last shark is out there as well, in terms, as well as tentacles and, just a galore of things that lie deep under the surface. And Lamberto Bava's Devilfish takes it to an extreme place of terror where you never want to step back into the water ever again. Is there anything that quite matches the coherency, the logic, the gore, the practical effects, the creature effects? Yeah. Devilfish, Lamberto Bava. Do I really need to sell you on Lamberto Bava or Italian cinema in general? Do I really need to work to sell you on a film that's been made of or made fun of? And what is that? The MST or MTS 3K? I you know what I'm getting at? That little deal that takes movies like this and just spoofs them up to no limit. Do I really need to sell you on Lamberto Bava's Devilfish? And if you're thinking, are we talking about the same movie? Look, all right, let's talk about the many problems with Devilfish. Look, I love Italian cinema, and I probably have no problem being the great apologist. Eli Roth said, inherently at the core of Italian cinema is the story. What story is trying to be conveyed here? And that is a little bit of a tough endeavor when talking about Devilfish by one Lamberto Bava. But it really isn't hard. And I'll give you a few reasons why, if you haven't checked it out in a while, why you really need to recheck it out, or even get the Code Red copy, which is not bad copy at all. It's got a commentary track by one Michael Sopkiw, who stars, we got Valentine, Monnier as Dr. Stella, Gianni, Garko, William Berger, Iris, Peynado, sorry. Dagmar, Lassander, Sonja West. Is an interesting bit of a cast here. So there's one selling point, the cast. Although I don't know how much they're helped with the writing, which is an enigma. This film is an enigma for reasons I'm going to tell you here shortly. But Code Red put out a really outstanding blue of this. And, it wasn't that long ago when we actually sort of had a remake of sorts of it. Of course, Roger Corman's Sharktopus comes to mind. But this is a film just not riding the coattails of Jaws, because Jaws is getting a little worn out by now with 3 installments, just the whole shark phenomena. But this film offers things that maybe Jaws should have given us. or at least Jaws 2 only barely hints at. But the role of the mafia, which sort of alludes to Eurocrime cinema, there is a bit of that happening even in the novel of Jaws, which is not really dealt with in the film. But here you got a collection of writers. Let's just deal with, let me just, one thing, let's just get this out of the way. Jim Harper's Italian Horror, which this is in. I think the last movie I dealt with was not in here. But this is. And let me just sort of segue what I just said into, well, first a synopsis. And I'll just give you, Jim Harper gives a pretty good synopsis for this one. It's not much, but I think it gets to the point. A giant monster is devouring swimmers off the Florida coastline. A team of oceanologists sets out to determine the nature of the beast and hopefully destroy it. So there goes Monster Shark, or Devilfish, from 1984. I'm just going to refer to his opening line of his review. And remember, these reviews aren't really full reviews. They're just really a brief stab because he deals with so many movies in this reference book. But he opens up by saying, it's difficult to say exactly why Monster Shark was made. And by the time it came out, the Jaws franchise had produced 3 entries, blah, 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 blah. Well, just take the first thing. It's difficult to say why it is made. You can approach that line of questioning because of how misunderstood the film is, or how poor aspects of the film are, how incoherent or the logic much of it is. But the Italians, kind of like you think Apocalypse. Come on now. Holy crap. John Saxon. I just did this. Why am I having a mind block? Anyways, most of you know what I'm talking about. Dario Argento's own cut of Dawn of the Dead. What makes his cut? His cut sort of goes more in line with, the sort of Eurocrime action piece Mattei's known for. Other Italians are known for. Remember, most of the Italians, man, they were just basically jumping from genre to genre to genre as that genre was becoming popular. They just took a step back, retooled up, and went at it, which is quite incredible when you think about how many genres some of these guys actually covered. You think of Lucio Fulci going from comedy into the giallo to the Gates of Hell trilogy. And other films that he's done, the Westerns, again, the Crime, Contraband, Lucio Fulci. These guys, man, were jacks of all trades in terms of filmmaking, and that's what I think made some of them so stinking good. Now, yeah, some of the movies definitely do rise up to the, to the more top, and others start to settle down, and others are somewhat, down a little bit more. Where do you put Devilfish? I'm not sure. But let's just start with the question, why is it made? It still is. I mean, the Jaws phenomena is still there. Jaws 3D just came out in 3D. And so, Jaws is still there. Ocean horror is always going to be there on some level. But here is Lamberto Bava. The second unit director was Bruno Mattei. So you got Lamberto Bava, Bruno Mattei, writers. Now, this is probably, what makes the film intriguing, but confusing. 7 freaking writers. You've got a contributing writer, which is Lamberto Bava. You've got 4 on screenplay alone and 2 on the story. You've got the likes of Cosi, Sergio Martino, and Dardano Sacchetti. These are freaking writers, man. But you got 7 of them, and they're all sort of kind of putting in their own thing. And Lamberto Bava is a good director. Have you seen Demons? Demons 2, Blade in the Dark. I mean, following in the footsteps of the legendary Mario Bava. We got Fabio Frizzi on the score. What else do we got here? The cinematographer worked on things like Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, the Torso, Slave of the Cannibal God, Great Alligator. The creator of the shark worked on the Gates of Hell trilogy, a video Tato, that's how you say it. In terms of the creation of the monster shark itself, the practicals, really there is a huge lack of money. I don't know what that creature design looks like with more money, but if you worked on the Gates of Hell trilogy, and I'm thinking with money and resources, you probably could do something a little bit more convincing. The plot, it involves a little bit. It's like a smorgasbord of Italian cinema. You've got this creature. We don't know if this creature initially, if it's been let loose by some unforeseen, unknown underground earthquake that, you think of Piranha 3D, right? Or is there another much greater conspiracy going on in terms of this creature? Is there a puppeteer that's pulling strings behind, trying to control this thing? And so you got a lot of moving parts, hence 7 writers. You got a lot of moving parts in here, and you've even got right out of James Bond, man, assassins, both working scuba diving under the water, and a guy who this girl who's gonna rat out the wrong people is warned. She doesn't take the warning seriously, and she ends up the night that she is basically fleeing, she ends up, let's just say conveniently, in her bathtub with a hairdryer dropped in, compliments of the assassin. You've got espionage, in terms of somebody, I'm not going to give it away, somebody who's working with somebody who you really ought not to trust, let's say, backstabbing, but they're controlled. Just a lot of moving parts here. Then you've got the hunt for the creature. You've got I'll tell you what's cool is you got real people who've been attacked by this thing that are real amputees, which makes the design and the effect much easier. Think of The Thing, man. They used a guy who had lost his arms in an industrial accident, as Rob Bottin says with a slight laugh. Not really. It's never a funny thing. It's just, I don't know, something about Rob Bottin when he says that in the documentary. But the opening scene is it's kind of, it's the Coast Guard, and they find the leftovers of a boat that's been sort of munched on, I guess, and a guy who's just still laying in the water, which I think if you look close enough, when they're harnessing him up to pull him up to the chopper, I think you can see his head laying up like, we got this on, right? Because I'm about to be picked up into the air, and you can't blame the guy, right? And so, and then you got, of course, you've got the hairdryer scene. You've got these other components of this guy's supposed to go on vacation. Of course, the other main characters, seek him out because he is adept at making the kind of equipment that can track this thing. The scientists are branched off into 2 groups, really, the good ones, the bad ones. The military may be involved, and there's just a lot of moving parts going in and out. And I would say the 3 things really hurt Lamberto Bava more than anything. Do we really need 7 writers? And if you're going to have 7 writers, and you're going to have the likes of Cozy and Martino and Sacchetti, you better figure this puzzle out, man. And what are their contributions? Where are they at in the final script? What has Lamberto added himself? How are you going to figure this out? I think editing is a huge part of this. Now, the guy who edits this film really he only edited like 7 films. I have a funny feeling, man, they just grabbed a guy and who could edit, and just sort of stuck him there. And I don't know how much Lamberto oversaw or others. I don't know what Sacchetti thought about this thing. This film really needs an incredible release by a much bigger boutique label that can put in, like, I would love to see a great interview with Dardano Sacchetti on this thing, even Martino and Cozy, and let's not forget Bruno Mattei's second unit. I could imagine, I can see where his contribution may have been as well to this film. And Martino, you see some of the elements in this film. You see elements of this film with all these guys. And so, too many writers, the editor, lack of money. But I think I've said enough to at least offer an intriguing possibility here in terms of just enjoying it, because it is Italian cinema. Italian cinema needs to be just enjoyed. Look, there's plenty of American films that get $150 or more million budget and they're freaking trash. The one thing Devilfish by Lamberto Bava is not trash for one, but it's a really entertaining movie. I'm still trying to think of the Apocalypse film. Come on, sometimes my brain does that. You ever get up from a room and you go specifically into another room for a very specific thing, and as you walk into that room, you've completely forgotten why you've gone into that room? That happens to me way too often, and I gotta sit there and I gotta think, and it's I don't know, it's scary sometimes because you're just kind of like, I'm standing. Is it the fridge? Is it the pantry? Is it something over here? Why did I just walk? Yeah, that's it. So anyways, Lenzi, I think it was Lenzi's Apocalypse. Golly, I'm just seeing if I could see it from here. I'm wasting too much time. Anyways, I mean, just for the contributors and all who put their hand into this thing, this film is definitely, and Fabio Frizzi's score, this film is definitely worth checking out or revisiting, and then, and just taking it in stride. Oh, the production designer was worked on Cemetery Man and Cannibal Holocaust. I'll end on that, I guess. So a lot of interesting hands, and the cast itself. It's just an interesting. So why did this film need to be made? I think it's because they were, Lamberto and the great collection of those that were part of it were aiming at something so freaking high. I think it just doesn't really translate well for the reasons I said. But it doesn't keep it from not being an enjoyable or really entertaining film. Yeah, I almost had that stupid title, and I'm gonna think about it as soon as I hit the stop button on this video. I mean, yeah. Anyways, so here, if I didn't say it, episode 28, of course, is where we are at. I think I'm heading towards Killer Crocodile next. That is not covered by Jim Harper for whatever reason. And so Van Johnson, man, Battleground, old World War II movies. I can't wait to talk about him. So I think Killer Crocodile, that leaves number 30. I don't know, man. I'm tempted. The Last Shark, I'm really tempted. So anyways, let's leave it here and check out Devilfish if it's been a while. And now with the spoof people, okay? Watch it for the film, what it really was intended to be. It is entertaining. It is quite fun, especially at times. Anyways, we always end these things off with, right here, go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream. We might be useful to you.